Inspiring messages,
Months into the pregnancy, I had just felt this lump in the right.
making a difference.
Say Anne-Marie, when the right season comes.
It's life, health, family, marriage, divorce, and so much more.
Today is separation in marriage. On set is my dear friend Gemma.
Heart of a Woman, every Tuesday at 9 p.m. right here on TIN.
Victim of satanic attack since we had a very good life.
Heart of a Woman.
Hello guys, welcome once more to Heart of a Woman. I am Sean Devines Daniel, your host for this program. If it's the first time you're watching, welcome to Heart of a Woman. On set this evening is a lovely lady, Pastor Christine Holder. Now, Pastor Holder, before I really introduce you, I want to talk about your church. With you co-pastor your church with Bishop Sheldon Holder, your husband. Impact to impart. I got it right.
Yes, you did.
So welcome to Heart of a Woman.
Thank you
Welcome,
so
my
much for
sister.
having me.
Thank you so much. I've been to your church recently, and I was so impressed because I remember the first time, I think it is, we met. You invited me to a session you guys had.
Yes, all
at
the King's Daughters.
All the
yes,
King's Daughters.
that's right.
Yes, you invited me to that session, and you guys had church under a tent.
Yes.
So when you invited me again to come to share with your women, I was thinking I was going west. Yeah? And then you said, no, at our church. And where's the church located again?
It's at Union Connector Road.
Union.
Corner, yes. Corner
Right.
of Plymouth Road.
Yes, so drove up and I'm thinking, wow. And then I said, yes, I'm in the right place. You know how I
Yes.
knew that? The valances, the
Yeah.
deco. I said, yes, this is Sister Christine's place. Yes. So, Sister Christine, talk to us about you. Who is Christine Holder? The first time I met you was about 2 years ago, I think it was.
Thereabout, yes.
Who is Christine Holder? And what was your maiden name, though? What was your maiden name?
Well, my maiden name is Martin.
Martin,
It's
from Tobago?
Yes, so it's Christiana Martin.
Christiana
Yes,
Martin.
yes.
Uh-huh.
So it's now Christiana Holder.
So you dropped the Martin.
I dropped the Martin too.
Good for you, girl.
Yes,
Right, so Christiana,
yes, Christiana is
Holder.
my full name.
and you from
I'm from Canaan.
Canaan,
Yes, I
okay.
was born and grown in Canaan. My parents, they are from, my father is from Roxborough originally.
Okay.
My mother is from Delaford, so it's two
Right.
country, came down to city.
Yes, right.
So I knew about the lights and the fast cars and stuff like that. So I grew up more or less in the
Okay,
city.
right. And you got saved at what age?
Actually, I got saved at 11,
11?
11 years of age.
Right, uh-huh.
I think I was privileged to have a mother who grew me up in church.
She was a believer.
Yes. So from the time I was born, she became a member. So she gave her life to Christ. And from then, she continued in God, and so did I.
Right.
Right.
yeah.
So at the age of 11, I was old enough to know right from wrong.
Yes.
And I was able to say yes to God and invite Him into my heart.
Yeah.
Right. From then, it has never been turning back.
So, and sometimes when young people get saved very early, when they're in their teens and probably after high school or something, 14, 15, then you see that desire tend to
Yes,
diminish.
yes.
You had that challenge.
Of course I did.
Yes, and I'm
Everything.
glad
Yes.
you're honest. And we keep it real on Heart of a Woman, eh?
Yes, of course I was faced with that too. Peer pressure.
Yes.
At 11 I would have been in high school still, sorry, in primary school, now I'm
Yeah.
about to go into high school. So in primary school, my primary school was at the Harmons Primary School. So that one, it's more church based. So
Right.
you more or less have similar students with the same ideals in terms of church. So it's
It's
the
a moral,
Adventist,
that
yes,
moral, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But then when you got to high school, and there you met with persons of different backgrounds,
Yes, different beliefs,
persuasions.
yes.
That's right. So
Yeah.
it was difficult. It was
Yeah.
difficult. What I did, I tried to find friends, you know, that I had one friend, she was also from my home church, right? So we clung together, and then we got others. We knew, okay, this one is Pentecostal, so we joined together. And from time to time, you know, you find that, okay, that is the group that you're lining with. So it was a bit easier to make the transition from Form 1 even to Form 5, because you have
Right.
these friends.
Yeah. So it was
to
a
encourage you.
Pentecostal faith that you, you know, you grew up in. Your mom was Pentecostal.
Nazarene.
Nazarene,
Yes, yes, yes.
okay,
So we grew up
great.
at the Canaan Church of the Nazarene.
Okay,
Yes,
great, wonderful.
yes.
So Christine, you know, I like that you said that, because I have a teenage daughter now, and everybody has adults, and you know, sometimes you wonder, what is she thinking as a teenager, where Jesus is concerned, where God is concerned, where church is concerned, you know, and you try to ask. She was raised in the church, but and you're not seeing anything different. But you think sometimes adults expect children to be more open. How, you know, when you were growing up as a teenager with your faith, were you expressive, or you know, you didn't want to share your faith, that kind of thing, or was it like as a teenager?
Well, as a teenager, remember, as teenagers we're talking about, and you know, even starting from, let's say, 9 to 11, you know, at that age they're trying to find out who they are.
Yeah.
So some might be withdrawn, and some might be outspoken. So even they may carry through that same personality into your teenage lives. But then in teenage life, you are faced with so many other decisions that you didn't have to make before.
Yes.
So now in terms of your friends, you have to find friends who will encourage you. You have a choice. So it's either you find the good friends or you find the bad friends.
Yeah.
Where do you go? Do I line with on the mall? Do I go to church? Do I stick with these friends today and tomorrow I have this next friend? So there's always decisions that we have to make, whether I do drugs,
Yes.
alcohol,
Yes.
you know, and it's things that we are faced with. You know, before we could have said that long ago, in terms of our, let's say, temptation, you know, it's not just common to adults only, but children are being faced with all sorts of temptations today.
Yes, yeah.
And it was the same back then.
Right.
Do I have sex? Do I stay pure? Do I go to church? Do I lie on the block? All of these that we had to face, and we had to make a choice. We had to make
Yes.
a choice.
And it's important too, I think, as adults, to help our teenagers
Yes.
in the church, especially, to make that transition and to keep the faith and to understand, you know, even though you may be pulled or drawn to a certain thing, don't chastise them. Let
Yes,
us also
yes.
try to remember that we were
Too
teenagers.
young, yeah.
Amazingly, I would say I got saved at age 8. My auntie was a believer, and I gave my heart to the Lord at age 8. Prescott, yeah? And she got married and left home, and nobody else at home, they weren't saved. So by the time I hit high school, you know, I forgot all about that. There was something though inside of me that kept pulling
Yes,
and pulling.
yes.
So I still do believe, I came back to the Lord in my 20s. I still believe that when you give a child Jesus Christ, no matter, that's the word, no matter
Right,
where they
right.
go,
Yes.
they will come back to
That's
the Lord.
right.
So, you know,
Proverbs says
parents, yeah,
Train them up.
train
Yes,
them
train
up.
a child
So
in the
parents
way
should
to
not get frustrated if
Not
you
at
find
all.
that teens not lining up with what we think, eh?
The support is important,
Mm-hmm.
and not just support, but ask them questions. You know, sometimes they brush you off, and well, right now I do have a son. He's 12,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, dealing with other person's children is different dealing with yours.
Yes.
And sometimes other 12-year-olds or 11-year-olds, they may be able to open up because you're asking certain questions. But when coming to yours, they might be a little apprehensive.
Yes.
They want to answer. And, you know, you have to level with them and say, listen, tell me what is happening. Talk to me. Let us relate. And don't be afraid.
Yes.
You know, I think that is one thing that we should make them feel that it's okay that they can come to us and come to us first.
First, exactly.
You know, when there's any trouble, they can come to us.
Yeah.
So I would be in his face. I would ask him what's happening with your body, what's happening at school, you know, talk about girls. You know, these are things
I'm sure when you want to talk about girls, it's like, Mommy, please.
You would be so surprised. You see the face change
Like,
and the eyes roll up,
yeah.
and then you see
Like,
the
really,
interest.
she's going there, you know, to
Yeah.
talk.
And then
I
they
wonder if
open
he
up.
would think that's a discussion he wants to have with Daddy.
It varies because Daddy will have his input. Daddy will give his side, and then I will be able to, like being a gentleman, and
Right.
let him know exactly
Yes.
how to treat a lady,
Yes.
what to look for when you're choosing
Yes.
friends.
Yes.
And Daddy will have his other masculine side that he will be able to share. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
both.
interesting. I love talking to sisters, to women that have that raised boys, because I raised girls, and you know, I always want to know how, if boys are different when it comes to talking, especially about their sexuality, if they're different, because I know when I talk to my girls, they're like, Mommy, you know, you told me that since I was 6. Again, Mommy, again. Yeah, you have to keep talking,
That's
yeah?
right. Yes, you have to.
So, my darling, you got saved that early and you kept the faith. God had a plan for your life.
Yes, yes.
When did you meet Mr. Holder? I'm always curious to know.
Well, it's not like I did have a perfect life, you know, along the way you will have temptations and stuff like that. So, yes, sometimes you feel like you fell off the bandwagon.
Yes.
But, you know, you have to get back up again, you know, and you ask God for forgiveness and keep moving forward.
Of course.
You
of
know,
course.
but I met my husband, my darling husband, at the age of 20.
20.
At
yeah.
20. And at that time, I would have been through relationships before, you know, and it came a point in my life that I said, you know what, I'm ready to settle down.
And he was a believer.
Yes, but he was not in my life just before that. So my father had passed away, you know, and I was deeply saddened because, you know, at that age, you really expect a father to be around.
Yes.
You know, and he wasn't there, and I prayed, I really prayed to God, and I said, Lord, although you are my father, although you will supply my needs, you know, you still need that companion.
Yes.
And I didn't want to be one to be bouncing here and bouncing there and bouncing around. So you know what? It was time for me to find that right one. And I prayed, and I remembered writing my list. Oh yes, I had a list.
Yes.
I wrote a list and I said, God, these are the things that I'm looking for. And I prayed. And when I met him, we were just friends. We were just friends before, and he was so respectable.
Best way to
He
start a
honored
friend.
me in every way, and I was so happy at him.
You all attended
know.
the same church?
No, he was. He used to attend the Scarborough New Testament Church of God before,
Okay.
and I was Nazarene. All right, but then even as we communicate, he was more than a friend. I say more because what he the words that he would use into my spirit, what he would speak to me, it was beyond friendship. It wasn't like he wanted something from me.
Right.
You know, he was just planting these seeds of greatness into my life. You know, and I became really a close friend to him, and he became a
Yes,
close friend to me.
you,
And I
yes.
must say that our relationship started
It
as
blossomed.
a friend, a friendship.
Right.
And then, well, he was at Trinidad, in Trinidad at the time also, so we were back and forth, and every time he comes, we're going to meet together.
Yeah.
But it grew and the love
Blossom.
blossomed.
Okay,
Yes.
so Sister Christine, we're lighting up there. We're taking a break, guys, and we will be right back.
Heart of a Woman